Welcome to this quick overview reviewing BVSD's evaluation system transition. This overview is intended to review why BVSD is making this transition, who informed this decision, and how this transition will benefit the district, evaluators, and educators. Starting in the 2023-24 school year, BVSD will transition to the state model evaluation system and the State Online Performance Management System, referred to as COPMS, which is housed in RANDA, for all licensed staff. This transition means that we will no longer use the BVSD created evaluation rubrics for all licensed staff, and we will no longer use My Passport for licensed evaluations. My Passport will still serve as our professional learning hub, housing available courses, your PL transcripts, and archived evaluations from years past. Moving forward, however, evaluations will no longer be housed in My Passport for licensed educators. As we approach this transition as a district, BVSD will continue to view evaluation as an opportunity to improve our practice and growth as professionals, rather than a compliance-driven requirement where we must prove our effectiveness. This value around evaluation has always existed in BVSD and will continue to be our guiding principle as we transition to the state model evaluation system. So you may be wondering, why are we making this transition now? It's a great question, and one that actually has quite a few reasons. One of the first reasons BVSD considered making this change related to evaluation legislation passed in the 2022 legislative session. Senate Bill 2270 required many changes to evaluation systems in the state of Colorado, including a shift from 50% professional practice and 50% measures of student learning to 70% professional practice and 30% measures of student learning, also including specialized rubrics being created for groups of educators and a requirement for all evaluators to receive training to improve their evaluation skills. At the same time, BVSD's Educator Effectiveness Committee took these legislative changes as an opportunity to review our current evaluation system for all licensed educators. In BVSD, the evaluation rubrics had not been reviewed or revised in approximately 10 years, which gave our committee an opportunity to determine if our evaluation rubrics still aligned with our values as a system and with our strategic plan. As you can imagine, many shifts have happened in education in the last 10 years, and it was determined that these changes needed to be made to better align our values with our evaluation tools. So what does this transition mean for our district? Well, the evaluation process and negotiated agreement, including our values and beliefs around professional practice and measures of student learning, will remain the same. The evaluation process will now be housed in the Colorado Performance Management System, known as COPMS, which is hosted by RANDA. And My Passport will still be utilized for professional learning activities. This transition doesn't mean, however, that we will need to make changes to our negotiated agreement to account for this transition, that evaluation ratings will now be made public and accessible to all stakeholders, or that this change was mandatory or something the state required. It's important to recognize who made this decision to transition to the state model evaluation system. Per statute, our Educator Effectiveness Committee members make recommendations related to our evaluation system, including this transition. This slide contains the names of those committee members, including our 2 student representatives. Our committee used a consensus model to make this decision and worked diligently to understand all the factors and potential impacts this transition would have on our system. Let's talk briefly about how this change will impact BVSD. Making this transition to the state model evaluation system will allow BVSD to save thousands of dollars in hosting fees for My Passport, as COPMS is a free resource for districts. Report evaluation data accurately and in alignment to state expectations. Our current evaluation system does not directly align to the state standards and elements, which impacts our data reporting. Use a platform created for the purpose of hosting evaluations. This platform has been in existence since about the 2015-16 school year and is utilized by over 160 Colorado districts. And it will allow for the creation of a peer feedback system because we will have more time and resources available to devote to this type of development. Now, how will this impact our evaluators? Making this transition will allow our evaluators the opportunities to focus on coaching and providing quality feedback due to a shorter rubric with less expectations to observe. Utilize real-time evaluation data displays to make informed decisions on school-level professional learning offerings or targeted coaching. Rate performance more accurately due to rating at the professional practice level. In our current evaluation system, evaluators rate at the element level. The state model requires evaluators to observe the discrete skills at the professional practice level, however. And meet negotiated agreement deadlines with activity progress displays so that our evaluators can see in the aggregate where they have completed evaluation activities and what might be missing. Now, how will this transition impact our educators? This transition will allow our educators to have a streamlined evaluation rubric that focuses on high-level practices and reduces redundancies and expectations. In some instances, educators may find some of these professional practices to be at a higher level of rigor than our current professional practices. This increased level of rigor may mean some educators experience a shift in their element or standard rating levels in comparison to years past. It is this increased rigor that will continue to push all of us to grow in our practice in support of our students. Educators will also see rubric expectations aligned to BVSD's equity and culturally responsive teaching practice priorities. See rubric language that is clearer and more concise, which avoids some of the subjectivity of interpreting rubric expectations. Will allow you to analyze your own evaluation data to support your professional growth. And should you be coming from a district that used the state model, you will be able to access archived evaluations from those districts. So what should you expect to see in the coming weeks, months, and throughout the 2023-24 school year? Well, the professional learning team will be supporting this evaluation system transition in the coming months by offering some of the following. All educators will receive training on this transition and the COPMS platform in the fall of 2023. Evaluators will receive COPMS system training and be provided optional just-in-time training on the online system and how to pair evaluation practices with the online system. We will maintain our continued partnership with BVEA to determine needs based on implementation progress. And don't forget your amazing educator effectiveness teacher leaders who will continue to support administrators in every building and ensuring information is reached our educators. Thank you for taking the time to review this information. Please be sure to reach out to me, Courtney Cabrera, or our Director of Professional Learning, Katie Mills, with any questions you may have as we work to make our evaluation system a driving force in continuing to improve our district.